did you see a difference?
Hyderabad was not so big as it is today.
Where do you hail from?
Australia, Sydney.
What point did you think that you need to move on into bigger things in life?
Initially, I started another company called A to Z Exams.
Can you give us throw some light on that?
It was a big cultural shock for me. So I thought this is not happening in India.
Why?
People made fun of me.
But in your case, you came back.
That's where the world opened up for me. So that's where I discovered.
What are the lessons that the first failure of the first company teach you?
Giving up is not an option.
Is it technology? Is it communication? Or is it something else? Or is it everything?
They haven't adapted technology as India has adapted.
Where is the biggest market now? You operated out of India.
Dubai was the better place to do business.
How did that process come about and how is it doing now?
This happened suddenly.
What was that company all about?
When there was no WhatsApp, this was the only way people were communicating.
Welcome to Conversations on HYBIZTV. I'm Suresh Kochatal. Entrepreneurs are usually come by different sizes, different shapes, and different attitudes. Some are adept in industry, some are adept in manufacturing, some get into information technology, others into pure technology, some into microbiology, and others get into biotech. But then, today I have with me a gentleman who is straddling a space that few have traversed in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Conversations on HYBIZTV. Today I have with me Satya, Kalyan, Yerramsetti, Chairman of Telebu Communications, and we will talk him through his journey as a professional career, as personal one, and of course, where he intends to go from here. Welcome to the show, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you very much.
So Satyaji, I'll just start from the basics. Where do you hail from?
I hail from Vijayawada. I grew up there. My parents are from East Godavari district, so they moved to Vijayawada when I was born or when I was very early ages. So all my childhood was spent in Vijayawada. And then for engineering, I came to Hyderabad. So I was a kind of a town boy when I came here. I didn't know the fashions here, and people made fun of me in college. I was ragged by my seniors in engineering college. But then I got the way the city works and the way the mega city works. And from there, after my 4 years of engineering in Hyderabad, then I went to Australia, Sydney, to do my master's in business management. So that's where the world opened up for me. So that's where I discovered, internet businesses. This was in 1996 to 1998. So this was when the dot-com boom was, at its peak. So everybody is becoming a millionaire just by starting companies. So that motivated me, where I understood that a common man or a middle class person without any capital can start a business with his idea and with his technology understanding or with his knowledge, he can build a billion-dollar company. Previously, before that, I was in an era where you had to have a lot of cash or some loan from big banks to start industries or factories, which was not possible for a person like me.
So when you say you were from Vijayawada, what about your siblings?
I have two younger brothers. Both of them, one is a dentist, one is running his own business again here in Hyderabad.
And your father was, I understand, from the agri background, not exact agriculture, but agri trading background. Can you give us throw some light on that?
So my father was working for a company called Aries Agrovet, and this was in micronutrients manufacturing and this thing. He was in charge for sales. At a point, this company was in financial crunch, and so that's when the entire sales unit came out and became distributors of that company, and they set up the companies in each district. Some 6-7 companies they set up as a group, and they grew. So from a middle class, then we saw money coming in as a business. We became a business family then. So my father is a big inspiration for me. Seeing him grow the business and become rich in a sense. That's when we built our first house, bought our cars and all those things.
Great. So when you went to Sydney and you saw a different world, a small town boy from Vijayawada who came to a big city like Hyderabad and then leapfrogging to Sydney, which is a different league altogether. What difference did you observe that, are there more opportunity in a city like Sydney or a city like Hyderabad than a town like Vijayawada? Did you see a difference?
Yes, definitely. So it was a big cultural shock for me. And, at the airport when I landed, I was trying to find from the cop where to reach to my university desk or something. And I was nodding my head like this. And then he corrected me saying, do you want to say yes or no? If you want to say yes, nod like this. If you want to say no, nod like this. That's when I realized Indians do this nodding.
The other way around.
And they confuse the foreigners, So small things like that, I corrected myself, and to do business with international companies and foreigners, you have to change some
the
ways.
body language.
Yes. Not only body language, your mind, thought process, your thinking. And so I was exposed to a lot of things. Everything is big in Sydney, coming from, Hyderabad. Hyderabad was not so big as it is today. So we still had this imports, and also we had to, smuggle foreign electronic items. That was the era then I was talking about.
True. So when you came back, most people who go to Australia don't come back. They settle down there, try and get a permanent residency, and then, assimilate into the Australian society. Either do some work there or start a small business.
Correct.
But in your case, you came back.
Yes.
Why?
Because I saw the internet opportunity, when I was in Australia, when I was doing my MBA. So I was following this Forbes magazine, and then I see these US entrepreneurs start an internet company, and then suddenly they're billionaires or millionaires. So I thought this is not happening in India. The opportunity is in India. I can't do this in Australia. Let me go back and start a .com company, and then, But then when I came to India, things were different. It's not easy to raise money here, unlike the US and things like that. So I had the struggle, but that's the reason why I came back.
So that's when you set up Telebu Communications.
Initially, I started another company called A to Z Exams. This was in the online assessment and examination space.
Okay.
But after 2 years, it failed, so it didn't take off. So after that, the second journey was this. So failure is very early. I learned from failure very early, and I think failure is what teaches a person to be on ground, and the right lessons are taught from failure.
So exactly, that's the first company you started, floundered, but you learned lessons from that.
Yes.
So you started your second company. Most of the people in India particularly, failure is a boring word. Right from your school days, you're told that you have to pass the exam. Failure is not an option.
Yes.
But what are the lessons that the first failure of the first company teach you?
See, afterwards I realized that the same category in which I started, online exams, became billion-dollar companies, and edtech space took off like anything. So I gave up early. I did not see revenue coming in. I did not, I struggled. So giving up is not an option. You have to wait there, struggle. You should not get attracted with what is happening right now, what is the buzzword now. So what people generally do is, if this is not working and something else is buzz and people are funding that company, people close this company and start that company. That is not how. Someday you will get your chance. This will take off. You have to go through your struggle. It's like gym, like your body. You have to keep building it. That's when you will become strong as a company, as an entrepreneur. You will go through your difficulties. Nothing will,
So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes, exactly.
So then you started Telebu Communications,
Yes.
Telebu. So what was that company all about?
So initially when we started, Telebu was named SMSCountry. So we were in SMS aggregation space. So all these OTPs that were coming. So we went to operators and took connectivity from them, and we went to these banks and then said, whenever a transaction happens, your consumers or your customers would get messages about the transaction and all. That was new in India then. Nobody was there. We were one of the first people to start it. So that took off. And then slowly we realized SMS is not the only telecom this thing we should be in. Customers were asking for call, voice related products and this thing. So that's when we started adding more products to them. And after a point, we were being called SMSCountry. They thought we only offer SMS services. Because we are a complete suite of telecom products for a corporate, We renamed it as Telebu, which is telephony business. So Telebu.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's how it is. But when you started Telebu, and when those are the early days, as you rightly described, telecom was just taking off in India.
Yes.
When you look at those days and look at now, what is the difference that you see?
Back then there was a number of players in the telecom space were like a lot of licenses were there, many players. So but now after a long time everything is consolidated. A lot of them disappeared or merged into one bigger this thing. So now we only have 3-4 players, including the government entities. So it's a lot more organized now. There it was chaos. People started left and right. The people were spamming. There was no D&D then. So then government introduced. So it was like a wild west then in the telecom space. But now it's more organized, more consolidated.
TRA came in.
Exactly. More control and regulated.
So after that, when you were going along with Telebu, at what point did you think that you need to move on into bigger things in life? What was that move, and what happened to Telebu then?
So as Telebu, we started something called 160x2, which is a ad-funded free SMS service. So we gave people could log on to the website. We didn't have apps then, so people log on to the website and then send free SMS across India. So we grew phenomenally. Within 2 years, we were 8 million subscribers, sending out 80 million messages per day kind of thing. So huge volume, billions of messages per year. But then suddenly telecom regulator hit us, and then so we had to sell that only that business. When there was no WhatsApp, this was the only way people were communicating. So this was a consumer business we started and sold, but we didn't sell it at a great high. We sold it off when it was kind of slowing down. So we didn't get a great return for this thing. That's when I said, okay, SMS might not be what it is today, so we have to venture into other products and other this thing. So we got into video conferencing, audio conferencing. So today we have 1 lakh people on a single call using our conference product called Group Talk.
So the company still exists and still does business in India?
Yes, a huge business.
Okay.
But then we wanted to expand overseas, so we opened offices over the years in Dubai, in Saudi, in Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, everywhere in the Middle East. So we have a strong presence in Middle East. So I also moved to Dubai, and I live there with my son, who's 16 years old, and with my wife there, because I thought Dubai was a better place to do business from after COVID. Once the team became, work from home and distributed, so there's no point in sitting in one office. People can stay anywhere they want. So
that's exactly the next question that is coming to my mind. What lessons did COVID teach you, and also the industry as such?
COVID was a big blow. People didn't expect this kind of sudden disruption to regular business, and a lot of businesses disappeared and new businesses opportunities came up. Like the video conferencing came out from nowhere. We were finding it very difficult to educate people on conferencing. Why don't you use? People said, why I can have a meeting? Why do I need online? We don't feel comfortable online. And all those things, everything gone. And so video conferencing industry took off like crazy. And those kind of new products and industries were born. But some died along the way also.
So when you look at technology per se, the Zoom became a byword for making conference call. Everybody was on a Zoom or something else, similar products, so too many of them. But then after COVID, again the world changed. Some people went back to their old methods, but traveling was cut down, and a lot of people learned that they could survive without a newspaper. They can read an e-paper. And a lot of other habits, ordering at home, from home.
Oh my God.
Okay, eating, don't need to go out and eat. You had Swiggy and Zomato and others whom you could order through. Now, when you look at your industry and when you started way back, did you ever imagine a tectonic shift like this?
No. We were thinking the same. This habit change would happen over years, but not sudden. This happened suddenly. So it was shrunk. The changes that were supposed to happen in 10 years or 20 years happened in 1-2 years.
And that changed
A lot of businesses, a lot of way people think, a lot of way people behave and function. Everything has changed.
So where is the biggest market now? You operated out of India. You still operate out of India, but you went to the Gulf. You operated in you're operating in GCC countries. I heard you are looking at Africa also as an
The reason we moved to Gulf is because, the reason we are in Dubai is we think that's a good access point to African markets, and African markets are growing, and they haven't adapted technology as India has adapted. So there's still a lot of opportunity for a lot of industries also, and they're now very open to Indians coming and setting up businesses. They're welcoming us, and all the security issues that we had earlier, a lot of countries you don't have. So you can choose, pick and choose your countries that you can operate in, go there, set up businesses, and grow there also.
When you look at competition in this field, I'm sure that it is not just your company. There are hundreds of companies similar to what you're doing.
Yes.
What differentiates? I mean, you obviously would have put a kind of a USP for your company. What is that USP?
See, one is being Indian and being based out of India. We have a lot of cost advantage to our this thing, which everybody knows already. But we also have this service component where we feel strongly about our customer, that ethic is within the company. So we compete with a lot of American companies and companies in Europe offering similar kind of services. And also the innovation part, we constantly innovate. We closely listen to what the customers want and change the products or the offerings. Like when AI started, we imbibed AI into our products so that they become smarter and they serve the customer's need and make it more efficient and effective.
Tabib, your healthcare platform, how did that process come about and how is it doing now?
So Tabib, which means in Arabic doctor, so we always wanted to use our communication platform into a vertical. So we thought the best vertical could be a healthcare platform. So where doctors and patients can, diagnose or meet each other online. When COVID happened, this was a big this thing. Even though now doctors are again seeing patients in person. Back then people were, but some parts change, you don't have to go for a follow-up visit, you can do a video call or a chat, and then prescription of medicines, so delivery of medicines at home, all these things. So we wanted to bring a platform which integrates all of them. This is primarily for the Middle East market. We are very active in Bahrain and Qatar, and we are starting in Dubai very soon. We also have a lab management software. So the diagnostic labs use our software to, operate their technology. This is primarily in the Saudi Arabian market. We are very successful there.
Vanasa time, have I pronounced it? I'm not really sure, but online ticketing platform?
Yeah, so Vanasa is something like our Book My Show here. So we do movie tickets in Bahrain. And so this is again also for the Middle East market. Vanasa means fun. So fun time kind of a thing. So in Bahrain, in other countries, people only use our platform. We are more or less monopoly there. So even though it's a small market, the margins are big, and we solve some problems there. So we are happy, and the kind of network we build there because of this platform. People ask for tickets and that kind of thing. So it's very interesting there.
So you can export that market to India also?
India market is very competitive when it comes to online ticketing with Book My Show and Paytm and all these things. So
Bridgetech, that's another company of you on a SaaS platform?
Yeah, so this is mostly for the global cinemas. So it's a cinema operating system.
Okay.
So this is a company that we didn't build. We acquired a majority stake in this company. So we started into M&A. So because now you can only grow some organically now. Now is the stage to grow inorganically. So we started acquiring companies. So the first acquisition was Bridge, because it goes very well. There's a lot of synergy between Vanasa time and Bridge. So that's where we acquired this company.
So when you look at so many companies that you're starting with Telebu and then you came into Vanasa time, you also have Bridgetech, you have the medical platform Telebu. All is in 160x2, that's also another platform. Do you think your hands are full or you have more ideas to explore?
So the way I built the company is I don't run the operations now solely. I started over the years. A lot of my team members have worked in the company for 14 years, 15 years, 16 years. So I have over 40, 50 people who are over 10 years in this company. So they run most of the operations, and I only strategize or give direction. So that's why I'm the chairman and I'm not the CEO anymore.
So day to day, you don't get into the
I
day to day
don't.
part of it.
Yes, I only look at how do we grow the company. So the mergers and acquisitions, I look at more this thing. I work with advisors to help us grow the company, take it to the next platform.
Today, when you look at your age, possibly you are not looking at a India that is what India is today. But today you have 21, 22-year-olds who are becoming owners of unicorns, valuations going through the roof. Is there a danger that, we saw what happened to Byju's.
Yes.
You rightly talked about online education platform, but Byju's is one such example where they were flying high and suddenly they crashed. Because there's no brick and mortar model. It's everything is in the air.
Correct.
Do you think at the end of the day, you need to have a business model which can sustain over a longer period of time?
See, if you look at our company, we haven't raised money professionally from VCs or PEs because unfortunately when I started, this ecosystem was not there and I had to struggle through. So we believe in customer funded business. So customer can be the biggest VC for you. So if you get the right customers and grow the business in the right way on ground, like the old traditional business, even though you are in internet business or online business, if you're not in this category of first to this internet space, then you can grow your business organically and through customers and the traditional way of growing business. If you go this valuation and all these things, I don't think it's sustainable. You get carried away with valuations and you overspend. Most of these guys spend without reason and investors dictate a lot of these things. Young entrepreneurs they sometimes get confused whether to follow their heart or to follow what the VCs are telling them to do. Even though they say this doesn't make sense, they do it just because the VC thinks it works and it worked in some other market, so they want them to mimic this thing. So these things cannot be done if you have investors. So
You have to sleep peacefully at night.
yeah, so grow the company to a stage where you are very confident, you are in control, you understand what. Then take investment from a PE firm or a VC firm once you really need money. Don't take it just because the money is coming to you.
And also the fact that technology changes by the day.
Yes.
What is relevant today is no longer relevant day after.
Correct.
One cannot even crystal gaze and say what will happen 5 years from now. Forget 5 years. We can't even predict what will happen 1 year from now.
Yeah.
In such a paced world, changing world, how do you said you're strategizing, how do you strategize and look at opportunities or look at businesses that you need to drop and new ones to take up?
So if you take up businesses which are pure play technology, let's say if you are building an AI platform, so that is a danger where something can, or your cryptocurrency platforms and all those things might change. But we are in a communication business, which is, as a human being, you have to talk to other people, you have to communicate with other people. The mode of communication might change. Today it might be SMS, tomorrow it might be WhatsApp. But so we will move from WhatsApp, SMS to WhatsApp. That's what we have been doing. But we will not stop communicating. So what I tell people is, understand what is the core of your business. Is it communication? Is it this technology? Or is this platform? So if you go to the core, you will know what is the right thing to do, what is the right thing to build for the customer. And also if you're listening to the customers, they will tell you what their habits are changing, what they want. So build what they want, you'll always be successful.
You have a bouquet of businesses that you have built, as we talked about earlier. When you synergize all of them, at the end of the day, is it technology, is it communication, or is it something, or is it everything?
See, we use communication to solve customer problems. So it's basically understanding your market and the problems that customers are facing. And if you can solve them using technology and make their life efficient, there's a business there. There's a business case there, and then you can build a business around it. And for us, because we chose those businesses, because we use a lot of core technology from the Telebu platform to build these businesses, and we worked verticalized. One we took entertainment space, one we took medtech space, and then using our core technology, we're solving the problems there. That became a business by itself.
Will you go back to the education space that you started with?
Yes, I always have a heart for it, yes.
Okay, there are plenty of companies in Hyderabad who are into that space. Anyway, the question that obviously would come to my mind is, when you look at the future, when you look at the countries that are there, India is a huge opportunity. Everybody talks about India as the third largest economy in the world, and by another 5 years, we are already the fifth largest economy. We have China, who is like ahead of us, but manufacturing, they're dominating there. Where do you think the next big business boom is going to come from? Is it Africa? Is it the Gulf? Or is it India? Is it Asia? Where is it?
Gulf, they're investing a lot of money. Saudi Arabia, for example, investing a lot of money in AI and other manufacturing. They want to bring manufacturing. But I think BRIC is where Brazil, Russia, and even though they are little, in conflict with the West, if the conflict goes away, those will be the next big economies, including India, is where I believe.
So what is your advice to an entrepreneur who wants to start a business? We spoke about people already in the business trying to become a unicorn, take P's and all that. But suppose some youngster comes to you and says, I want to start an edtech platform. I want to start a medtech platform. Everybody is trying to ape something which is already there. They want to be the next Mark Zuckerberg, they want to be the next Elon Musk, but that space is taken. That space is over. So how would you advise somebody who comes and says, I got the money, but I want to do something? Would you kind of discourage them, or would you tell them to think something?
See, I won't discourage them. See, I want people to start early. Anything you start early, over years you become good at it. Like if you take Sachin Tendulkar, he started very early at cricket, so that's the reason why he, was very, very successful. See, like sports, even business, if you start early, you will inevitably encounter failure. And if you embrace failure and get up and start all over again, you will definitely make a big business. And also go by your gut. Don't go by the sector. You see something around you, you can start a micro, even within big spaces, there are micro spaces where there are problems exist, and you understand those problems, you see those problems, try to solve those problems in a small way and replicate it and scale it, and that will become a big business over years.
Thank you very much, Mr. Satya. We could go on and on. I'm sure that maybe a year from now we will meet again, and maybe you will have 2 or 3 more new business lines that are coming up, verticals out there. Thank you very much for speaking to us at HYBIZTV.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Satya Kalyan Yerramsetti, Chairman of Telebu Communications and a host of other companies that he runs under that brand. What he told us is how he stayed in the game despite an early failure and then built different verticals, all of whom are doing well. Looking at new markets, which is very obvious when you want to grow, but more importantly, the staying power and the will to stay there in the game is very important. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.